So when Nancy and I got introduced about 3 years ago, she was going through the interview process. My manager thought it would be appropriate for us to meet, given her background and my background very similar in the way that we were introduced to New York Life. So Nancy was a small business owner. For a number of years, she ran a large dog pet sitting and dog walking business, one of the largest in the South Shore. And I ran a small business prior to coming to Plaster Fun Time also. We were also both successful and entrepreneurs in our former jobs, but we were total career changers and had done something for a long period of time before we got here, and we weren't fresh out of college. And we both have very similar backgrounds relative to our entrepreneurial spirit. Nancy is a lot like every small business owner. They all have perseverance. A small business owner is probably the loneliest job in the world. You have to know every answer. You have to be the smartest person in the room. When the obstacles get put in front of you, you have to find the way around them. So I thought she'd be a natural fit for New York Life, for our architecture, for our framework. I'm not surprised that she had immediate success from the day she got here. Those values carry well into our industry. Our manager thought I'd be a good fit given the similarity in our backgrounds. So we started working together and had a few cases. She was very quick to realize that there was a skill set that she didn't have yet and that our skill sets would be complementary to one another. One of the things with Nancy was when she was new, she had a difficult time getting cases to go from opening to closing. So once we started working together, she quickly realized that a lot of our cases started closing at a higher frequency, and that by working together, her FYC and her accomplishments were going up exponentially. And I started realizing the skill set that she was bringing to the table in terms of the aspects of the case that I wasn't good at. The question is, how do you work with high net worth people that you're already friends with? And how do you bring them into the New York Life system where they know that you don't know anything? What she utilized me for was the authenticity of having an experienced advisor that she collaborated with. I think the way it worked really well for her was it gave her the credibility and authenticity and also the courage to go out and reach out with people with significant wealth and have them come in and have somebody with the skills or practice or confidence to handle someone of a high net worth individual. All the above. Yeah, I would characterize Nancy as courageous, confident, persistent, and holds herself. She's usually the first one to work in the morning and the last one to leave. So the consistency is another thing I would add to that. Just every day, she lives, sleeps, eats, breathes, does the job 24/7. I'll get text messages at 9 a.m. I'll get emails at 5 a.m. She lives the job, and I think that's what's important to making this job successful. You can't be a secret agent. You can't do it part-time. You can't do it, halfway. She goes right at it all the way, every single day, 7 days a week, and, to be honest, never turns it off. If she turns it off for one thing, it's for her kids. But other than that, she's pretty much on the clock 24/7. And so when you're new here, you have to learn on the job. And for that, I was the experienced person that she could say, hey, let's get the white elephant out of the room. I don't know anything yet, but I work on a team at New York Life, and I'm certain that we can add value to you. So I think it helped get her through her chicken list. Every agent shows up with a chicken list, people that they know that would be great candidates for New York Life, but they don't have the skills or the chops to handle those clients. So I think many agents let those opportunities and prospects die on the vine because they don't have the confidence, and fundamentally they don't have a person that they mentor, or that they don't have a mentor that helps them bridge that gap in knowledge. So I think that very much what I did for Nancy was just help bridge that gap until her knowledge base is where it needed to be. We're talking about teamwork, and what Nancy did that I couldn't do, and the reason both of our practices are better because we work together, is a case I can remember it clearly. It was a gentleman I met with, and I met with him a number of times, and he had a large rollover opportunity, and I met with him. He said yes. He went dark, tried him again, A month later, still couldn't get in touch with him. Tried him a month later, sent him a letter. She called this person, which I had done in numerous numbers of times. She said, Mark, I got a meeting with. I said, okay, I hope he shows up. Shows up. We get the rollover. It was an enormous case. It was almost $1 million rollover. And I was like, I know for a fact I would not have gotten that case if I didn't work with Nancy. I know for a fact I had given up. It was in my dead cases folder. And I'd say, how did you get an appointment with them? And I'd look at her notes, and she had called them over 11 times. I'm like, that's remarkable. Most people will call them once, maybe twice, potentially a third time. Nancy will call them in numerous numbers of times, and never, not in my entire 3 years of working with her, as anyone said, never, stop calling me, you're annoying me, you're bugging me, or I'll never do business with you because of the way she sort of persisted after me. So I don't know how she does it, but I would say that's her biggest strength, is the persistency of just going. And once she believes like this person's going to be a client, I actually believe it. And what we've really incorporated, there's another trusted agent that we both work with. That's Dan Haddad. Dan is a younger agent, he's from a different generation. And he brings a tremendous amount of skill set, but more importantly, he complements the work that Nancy already does. So she feels very confident passing off portions of the case that are bogging down her systems. Dan also, to speak about Dan Haddad for a moment, he brings a tremendous amount to our team, not just a younger person's perspective, but he's a millennial. He's technology driven. He's technology forward. My calendar works because he makes it work. He wants to eliminate as much process as we can to streamline our process. As a result, Nancy's more efficient, I'm more efficient. He's able to make all of us more efficient. And as a result, he's an integral part of our team. What I think Nancy did at an early age that really changed and pivoted both of our careers was she would pick a list of 5 or 10 that had to get done. And she would say, hey, we have 76 cases open right now. Let's make sure these 5 or this 7 or these 9 make it through. This is where all the FYC is. This is where all the opportunities are. Nancy is hardworking. Above all, she's hardworking. One thing I've learned from Nancy is we all have skills, and they don't have to all be the same. So what Nancy does a great job of is taking each person's skills, applying them to a case, and making the outcome be better than the sum of the parts. The thing I'm most excited for Nancy is she never stops learning and never stops wanting to try new things. We've talked about this year adding Eagle to her business, having her go sit for her Series 7, 65, learn how to do assets under management, learn how to be a registered investment advisor. Nancy never wants to say this is sort of as high as I can go. She holds herself to a very high goal, and she goes out and gets it. I don't know what I see in the future for Nancy. I just hope that I'm a part of it. I know that she is going to do great things here. I know that she's going to be on a leaderboard, and she's probably going to push me and everyone else around her to a level that they couldn't do on their own. I know that for a fact. If I had to characterize Nancy, she's relatable, she's humble. There's not a single person that she can't work with.